I have a few memories of my childhood. However, one that feeds my soul is when my mother used to make us my favorite dinner, walkie-talkies, otherwise known as chicken heads and feet. Chicken heads and feet have been heavily stigmatized in African communities until recently. Growing up, if you were seen buying, cooking, or worse, eating walkie-talkies, it was a sure sign that you were having a tough financial month. I remember our house buzzing with excitement whenever we saw walkie-talkies being prepared for dinner. In our home, this was a guarantee sign that we'll have the best night. You see, in my mother's attempt to hide her depression and the stigma around this meal, she would often overcompensate by being extra happy on these nights, more engaging. And if we were lucky, she will even throw in a few childhood stories from her village where she grew up. I'm sure you'll relate and/or understand the gravity of these nights if you were raised by a parent who struggled with depression at a time it was not allowed to be talked about. My mother passed away in late 2012. So now I always keep a packet of chicken heads and feet in my freezer for the days when I miss her cooking or when I just want a taste of home. This is a must-have food for me to continue her legacy of happy memories and an experience I'm passing down to my little boy without the negative stigma attached to it. The difference between my mother and I is the simple fact that I have access to nutrition education and information that have been uniquely created for our culture by one of our community members, specifically for our community's need. I know that to eat better, I need to live better, I need to eat better. Essentially, you are what you eat. That is the link between food and health. Food habits have progressively changed in the last few decades. Research has shown that changes in food patterns, lack of education, limited access to individualized nutrition information, and an inactive lifestyle has mainly contributed to a significant increase in the prevalence of obesity, diabetes, and other diseases like heart disease and cancer in Africa. Across the continent, we have so many communities that suffers the highest rate of metabolic illnesses due to lack of information and healthcare. As such, vulnerable populations from underdeveloped regions remain undiagnosed and/or untreated, which increases their risk of health complications. I'd like to share a case study from the Institute for Security Studies in Pretoria. Let me introduce you to Anik Moy. Anik is lucky enough to be able to take her 2-year-old daughter Shanique to the local creche. Most people in her community rely on their neighbors to look after their children while they're at work. And if you are fortunate and have lived in the area long enough, perhaps an extended family member can step in and help out. Soon after arriving at the creche, Shanique is given a bowl of yellow starchy porridge for breakfast. This will be her only meal for the day, along with a mid-morning snack, a cheap puff maize chips that's covered with colorant, flavorant, and preservatives. Her mother fetches her at 3:30 p.m. after working 6 kilometers to and from her job as a domestic worker. That diet is not enough to give Shanique the energy she needs to learn or enough fuel for her small body to grow. But it is the only meal her mother thinks she can afford and that's available for her to buy at the local spaza shop. It is also what all the other children have, and no one likes to stand out. Shanique is just one story of many children across the continent. There's a general perception that healthy food like fruits and vegetables are expensive, and that people with a well-balanced diet are people with plenty of money to spare. This is consistent with the perception that for food to be healthy, it has to be high-priced. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Cheap food is an illusion. Author Michael Pollan said in the documentary Fresh, there is no such thing as cheap food. The real cost of food is always paid somewhere. If it isn't paid at the cashier's register, it's charged to the environment, or it's charged to the government in the form of subsidy, or it's charged to your health. Food is about family. Food is about community. Food is about individuality. We nourish these things when we eat well. Teaching people how to live better by eating better, you are teaching them how to fish instead of simply giving them the fish. Efforts in uplifting community health should now focus on two key aspects: community-based health coaching and nutrition education at grassroots level. Did you know there are people like me out there who are working to prevent, treat, and manage diseases of lifestyle and nutrition by training community members to become health coaches, implementing education programs in communities at grassroots level, and driving awareness campaigns to teach people how to live better by eating better with what they have access to. Question: are you living better by eating better? If you said yes, my name is Yvette. Join me, and together let's promote and support good health in African regions. Thank you.